Hey guys, Shane here. Before we get started today, I want to ask you a quick favor. Please hit that subscribe button and give this podcast episode a share on social media so that we can help more families start, build, and grow a membership of their own. We appreciate that so much. Thank you for listening today. And now on to the podcast.
Hey y'all, on today's podcast, we talk to new Flip Your Life community member, Chrissie. Chrissie has been a mommy blogger online for a while now, and she's been able to generate a great side hustle for her family. But after losing her father suddenly, she decided to pivot and focus on her family's tradition of RVing and camping. On today's podcast, you will hear Chrissie's incredible story. Guys, Shane might have even shed a few tears. And you get to listen in as Shane helps Chrissie build a sales funnel with lead magnets, tripwires, and trials. This episode of the Flip Lifestyle Podcast is an emotional roller coaster that you will not want to get off of. Now, don't forget to give it a share on social media and follow and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And now, enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again this week. Super excited to talk to another amazing member of our Flip Your Life community, our Flipped Lifestyle family. Can't wait to introduce you, our guest to you today. Her name is Chrissie Riese. I almost said Reese, but she said it's like Reese Cup. So Chrissie Riese, how you doing today?
Hey, Shane. I'm real excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Did your parents make that rhyme on purpose? Chrissie Riese. Did they do that on purpose?
Well, it's on my husband. So that's on me.
That's right. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
So basically, he met you, and he's like, wait a minute. If I marry this woman of my dreams, her name will be Chrissie Riese. Seal the deal. Get on the knee. Let's go right now, right?
Boom, done.
Boom, done. Right, exactly. All right, well, tell everybody a little bit about you, Chrissie. Like, what's your background? What does your family life look like? Like, where are you from? And kind of tell us a little bit about what you're doing online.
Sure. So my background, actually, I have a master's degree in athletic training. And I used to work with high school sports teams. And I know you were a GA at WVU, which is actually our home state. We are from West Virginia.
There you go.
Go Mountaineers.
Go Mountaineers. Definitely go Mountaineers. You know my favorite thing about coaching? I don't mean to interrupt you, but you know my favorite? We got to talk about this. You brought it up. Like, you know what my favorite thing about coaching at West Virginia was? It's the wildest place on the planet, Morgantown, West Virginia. Like, it's just buck wild everywhere. It is a true college party town, people. It's wild. And when I got there was this huge fence going straight up the middle of the stadium. And I was like, what is that? I asked one of the other GAs, I was like, what is that for? And he's like, yeah, they built that a few years ago because the students are so wild. They had to fence them in away from the rest of the crowd. And I was like, what? Where am I? So, there you go. That's my West Virginia tidbit for the day. So go Mountaineers.
Yeah, go Mountaineers. So we're actually a military family. My husband is active duty Navy. And a few years ago, I transitioned to stay home with our girls. Working the hours that an athletic trainer works just was not conducive for our family. And in that process, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need something to do. I have to do something. So I started a blog and things were great. I worked on that for about 2 years and I finally got to the point, and that content was mainly focusing on like helping moms with health and safety for their kids. Like what to do if your kid gets a splinter, how do you handle an ankle sprain, that kind of stuff that's in my wheelhouse, but really gearing it towards moms. And I was doing great. My traffic was good. I had a solid email list. And I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I should probably sell these people something so I can make some money. And I was starting some sales emails and it felt heavy. It felt like it wasn't the right thing. So I started chatting with my husband, and this was only about 2 or 3 months ago. And at that time, my dad had passed away this past fall. So we were helping my mom look for a new RV. That's what our family does. We RV, we go camping. And I was chatting with my husband. I'm like, man, wouldn't it be so much fun if we could just talk about RVs for a living? And he was like, well, why don't we? So then this whole thing kind of pivoted and changed. And I'm like, I got excited, I got energized, and we're working on it together now. So that's really exciting too. So we've kind of pivoted and come full circle from like my professional background to more of what we like to do as a family and how we stay connected to each other and to our extended family and all that kind of stuff.
So basically, you got a lot of experience blogging, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I want to tell you too, if anybody doesn't know how the sports world works, the athletic trainer is the hardest working person in sports. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, because usually the athletic trainer at a high school is for all the kids, all the teams, and they're like spread so thin, and man, they just kill it. And so kudos for you for being an athletic trainer, because that is really, really hard to do. That's a hard job. And now you want to pivot this blogging experience into this RV thing, which is hilarious, because me and Jocelyn were just looking at RVs last night. Like, I was literally looking for it, because, you know, the way the world is right now, this is being recorded in, is it August yet? No, it's July. So this is July of 2020. Half the world's still shut down. You're scared to death to go in an airport or a hotel or whatever, because you don't know what's going on. And we were like, wait a minute, if we just had our own hotel that we brought with us, right? And we had but I want the one, I don't want the RV, I don't want like a big camper you pull with my truck, right? I want like the one where I'm in it and driving the whole house. Like, that's what I want. I want to be able to drive the house wherever we want to go. But my friend just went to the Florida Keys in an RV. They got one, they rented it, and they drove it down there. They never stopped. They just got, you know, the kids could use the bathroom and everything just went. And I was like, this is a good idea, Jocelyn. We got to look into this. So I may be the first subscriber to your new email list, Chrissy. Would that be okay? Could I subscribe to your email list? Is that good? Okay.
I would be A-okay with that.
Yeah, okay with that. Okay. All right. But I am assuming now in your form that you filled out, so the Mommy blog is making money though, right? Still, like this steps. How does it make money?
It is it's ads and affiliate revenue at this point. And it does pretty well. I mean, I don't want to minimize my success, but you know, there's always room for improvement. So it does make money.
Right. But it's limited by traffic, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So why do you want to switch to the membership model? Like, it's one thing to want to change topics, but you're kind of like, you know, a lot of people would be like, well, this worked here. Maybe I'll just build another one of these with more affiliates and more ads, and we'll talk about the same thing. Like, why do you want to switch the business model to the membership model for this?
My husband and I crave community, right? We want community. We want to be around people who enjoy the things that we enjoy, and we want to help people along in their journey. And for us, like, the membership model makes sense because we get that community, we get that connection more so than what you would get in like a digital course. You get that human element a little bit, and it translates so much better, I feel like, in a tighter knit community. Plus, you're not waiting for that next paycheck. Like, I'm not going to have to figure out a course and then in a month from now go, oh crap, I need to come up with another one of these and launch it again and wait and just see what happens. I would much rather just have a more consistent and predictable income. But the plus side to all of that for both of us is just community and a sense of like creating a sense of belonging for people who want to do the thing that we do.
Yeah, I tell you, it's funny. That's kind of what led us, not even necessarily down the membership route, but creating we've always considered our thing a community, not a course. Like, that's what the Flip Your Life community is. And it's because when we first became successful with our education company, we started going to live events, and we started going to, we started meeting people, right? As we and we just realized, like, God love y'all if you're my friends, but we didn't want to hang out with some of those people. That wasn't our clique. That wasn't our crew. And, and we said, well, what if we just built our own crew? And that's kind of what the Flip Your Life, extended family became, was like, let's draw in like-minded, family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world, and let's work together and be better together through this journey, because this stuff's hard and it's hard to figure out, and you need people, but you don't just need people, you need the right people. And man, you can build you can't control the right people sometimes on ads and affiliates, but your community you can create. It's you get to decide the culture, right? So it's like you do surround yourself with these amazing people. And like when we have Flip Your Life live events, it's like everyone already knows each other and everyone's hugging in the lobby. And like the first time we ever did one, me and Jocelyn were on the 8th floor looking down, and we were watching people check in because we wanted to see what people were doing. And I can't tell you how many people got tapped on the shoulder and turned around and went, hey, and they never met in person, right? So like, can you imagine your RV membership? Like, you guys are this big RV crew from around the world and the country, and everybody's driving their RVs, and you end up at the same, like, hey guys, we're at Camp Okinawa or whatever it is, and you're like Chimichanga or whatever. What was one of the 80s movies camps, whatever I'm trying to think of, and you're all in the same place at the same time. You're sitting around a campfire, like that's legit. Like that's a legit vision,
Yes.
That's awesome. All right, so let's build this thing. Let's figure out how to do this so I can meet you at the campground someday. All right, so what is holding you back? Let's talk about mindset first. Like, what mindset issues or fears or what are you encountering in your head when you're trying to say, man, I'm pivoting from something that's working to something totally different? Like, what's holding you back right now?
If I am like completely honest with myself, it's fear of success. Which feels so weird and so foreign because it's, normally the holdback is, well, what if I do this thing and it doesn't work? Whereas I'm with switching gears, like I almost know it will work because I'm in the community and I see, or the Facebook groups, and I see what people are struggling with. So I know where to meet them. So now it's like, oh crap, what if we build this and it like blows up? What do I do?
Yeah. It's like a fear of leadership and like, you don't want to let people down. That's kind of where I think that fear, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if I tell them wrong or they get mad at me and like I let them down, man, after they gave me some money. Like right now you get an ad click. You don't know that person. You don't got to deal with them. If they didn't like the ad click, that's on them. But now it's like, man, Bob's mad. Like, what do I do with Bob, the member of the community, right? Yeah.
Right.
I totally feel that fear all the time. Does that make, I really do. Like I it's funny. Like everybody thinks your fears just go away. This fear of success, like it's like, do I want the next level? What comes with the next level? I'm scared of the next level. Like I have this problem all the time, and like the farther and longer you go in this, I think that actually becomes the greatest fear. Like it's the fear of the next level, and not just the great success that it brings and the perks, but it's like that fear of you can't be more successful if you don't accept more responsibility, right? Like if you don't keep bearing a heavier cross, then you don't get a bigger hill to climb. You just don't. And it really is overwhelming, like when you think about like the next level. So how Jocelyn and I combat this is one, with clear expectations over a clear timeline. Okay. So if you're afraid of what if 10,000 people join this, well, that could happen. I mean, anything's possible, right? But if you can say clearly, what is your vivid vision for the next 36 months? And you know the goal that you're trying to get to, then what happens is if you don't want the next level from that, you get to pull the brake. Like the worst case scenario is I want 1,000 members, and all of a sudden you get 1,000 members and it looks like you're going to get 1,000 more. You're not ready to hold it yet. Close the membership. Sorry, we're not open right now. And I'm going to stay right here until I feel comfortable right here. And then I will create a new vision and I will create a new goal and I will go after that. So the thing I'm trying to tell you is you're in total control of how big this thing actually gets. And if you come up with a number that's scary for you, then you need to say, well, my 3-month goal is less than that, and it's right here. And if I get there and it does blow up in a year or it gets there faster, stop. I have the gas and the brake right under my foot, okay? That way you control how much success you have. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to own that. And then you don't have to worry about it when you get to the point where it blows up. And we do that all the time because like I know there's places that we could pull a lever and the gas would go on it. But I'm like scared of what that looks like. How does that affect the community culture? How does that affect the people in the forums? How does that affect my team? Right? Or if we got 10,000 new members tomorrow, would my director of community quit? Like, like what would happen? Right? But I get to control the brake. So just embrace that a little bit and say, hey, I get to choose the success. But if you don't know the success, you're not gonna know when to pull the brake. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And as somebody who identifies as a control freak, that's so helpful to say, like, no, you do have the control. You can push on the gas or pull on the brake or both at the same time.
And that's okay. And that's okay. Yeah. And that's where a lot of entrepreneurs, I have seen more entrepreneurs house burned to the ground, not in real life, but figuratively, because they didn't know when to pull the brake. They didn't know when to consolidate their gains. They didn't know when to learn to manage what they have and be content with where they were. And all they were listening to was what could be, or success came at them so fast they had no clue how to deal with it, right? And I've seen that. I've seen friends of ours, $100,000 launch, blow up their business, and then 3 months later, they're dead broke pivoting because they got overwhelmed and crushed. And I was like, man, if you had just stopped at that 5th client instead of going after the 15th, you'd have been okay, because you didn't honor the process, right? So yeah, man, you got the break, you got control. But there's a great book called Vivid Vision. If you've never read that book, and I've got a document. I actually made this document on how to create this vision. I expanded on the book after I read it. I can put that in the community. I need to probably put that in there somewhere. If you want to set it, I'll put it in the goals section so that you can go in and look. I got a document. It's like all the questions you should ask yourself. And I'll tell you how I do this. I hand write the answers so that my brain slows down and makes me think about what do I want. And if you do that, now you know this is where we're trying to get to. If we get there, pause. We're good. We're going to rock. Okay? All right. So we have established that the fear of success is going to be dominated by this vision-making process, and that is no longer a fear. All right. So now, how do we build this brand new business? Where are you at in the brand new business? Is the website live? Do you have posts? How are you going to build the content thing? And then what questions do you have about relaunching the new site and all that good stuff?
Yeah, sure. So the new site is live. It's up. It's running. We've got a great content plan that it really focuses heavily on Google SEO.
What is the site? What's the domain name?
It is talkingcampers.com.
Talkingcampers.com. That is a great, that is a 2-word domain name, my friends. That is awesome. I hope your logo is 2 campers with mouths talking to each other. Right? It
is not, but that's adorable, and I should totally run with that.
Right, exactly. All right, so the website's live. SEO, a lot of strategy going into the content, right?
Yep, a lot of strategy going into the content so that people can find us from Google, because we're going to be doing Pinterest in the short term to get kind of some quick wins, hopefully. And then I'm working with a copywriter and a copy team to really help us flesh out how our story can be applied to our customers. Because one of the things that really, it's kind of a raw and emotional story for us to kind of convey, but we feel strongly that it'll end up bringing the right people in. So
what's the nutshell version of the story? Can you give me the nutshell version?
Sure. So the nutshell version is I started going RV camping when I was in middle school. My parents bought a camper, and that became our thing. So we never went on big fancy family vacations, none of that. We just went camping. I got married. My husband, I was like, we're going to buy a camper. And he's like, no, we're not. I'm like, oh, yes, we are. So the more we were married, and then we had kids, and he was kind of like, oh, okay, we need to buy a camper. So we went on this whole journey to pick the perfect camper. We finally got to use it a couple times. We went camping with my parents, with our family. And then last fall in September, my dad was diagnosed with very advanced and very aggressive colorectal cancer. From diagnosis to death was about 6 weeks. So we lost my dad November 17th of last fall. And it was like our whole world just kind of stopped. And my 6-year-old is very perceptive. And at one point during this process, she kind of looked at me and she goes, Mommy, we can still go camping. And it's just kind of like that instance in a 6-year-old that is just like, yes, we can. So my mom and my dad had, this is now not very long, not a short version, sorry. My mom and my dad.
You don't have to slow down at all. Just keep,
my mom and my dad had bought their forever camper, right? This was the one that they were going to be in, just the two of them. All the kids were out of the house. This was theirs. And my dad passed away. So shortly after that, my mom was like, all right, I need a new camper just for me. So my husband and I had started helping her research, what she wanted and how to help her figure that out and what that looks like. And that's kind of when he and I had that aha moment of, oh my gosh, we should do this for other people because we love doing it. So that's
an incredible. I mean, I'm in tears over here. Like, I mean, man, like your child saying that to you, like, what a ray of hope from God in a terrible situation, you know?
Absolutely. And she's had other moments like that. And it's just one of those things where it's kind of a gut punch, because I look back and I see what my parents gave me as a kid, going camping and having that experience with them, and that connection that you can't get anywhere other than when you're unplugged from the world. And to be able to have those memories and then continue to have them with my family and then help other people live that, is just, it's twofold. And I had a friend tell me recently, she's like, this vision and what your story is, she said, you're also carrying your dad with you into the future. So like, yes.
How many memories will be made that were sparked from your father and your child? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a big deal, man. That's a big, big ripple like out that you could put out into the world. I mean, if you have 100 families that join this thing and they have, 200 kids, and then that's priceless. Like, you can't put in. I'm buying a camper. I'm done. I was thinking about it, and now I'm serious. Like, you've convinced me. Like, forget it. We're going camping for the rest of our lives. I'm not going anywhere else. If we go anywhere, we're driving in the camper, and that's what it's going to be. So, woo, that's a good story. Okay, let me compose myself a little bit here because I'm misty-eyed. Okay, so let's make this happen. Okay, so I don't even know where to go next. So, all right, so so the content you've got down. So what's the next step, do you think? What do you think your next step is? Where are you stuck? What do we need to do to make this a reality?
We mapped out our core content. So we know what our core content in the membership is going to be. And really it's, when you get into kind of those like RV Facebook groups, everybody's like, what's the best floor plan? What's the best brand? And it's like, whoa, folks, pump the brakes. It's what suits your needs now and what will suit your needs 5 years from now. Because you got to remember, your kids are going to grow. Your kids are going to get older. So our core content is kind of helping folks figure out what RV is going to serve you now and 5 years from now, so that you don't do what a lot of people do, is just buy the first one they walk into, go camping in it once, and then go, oh crap, this is not going to work.
Yeah. So you're trying to serve the people who are buying a camper first. It seems like I always try to find the first part of someone's journey, right? Like the first part of our journey is an idea. So like that's usually where our training starts, right? Is you got to have an idea or you can't have a membership, right? So are you trying to serve the person who is just getting into RVing? Like, I have made the decision to buy a camper. Now what in the world do I do next? Is that the beginning of the journey?
Yes, that is the beginning. We were going to kind of back it up and help folks that want to make that decision. Like, do I want to buy an RV? But we kind of decided, you know what? That's too much of a hill to climb. We want to get
a free blog post is what that is. That's something free. Like, that's just out there in the world, and you're hoping they read that on your blog and then they opt in for the actual first step, right? I don't want people trying to decide if they want to have an idea. I want someone who's like, dang it, I've listened to the Flip Lifestyle podcast for a year. I'm sick of this. I need an idea. Shane, what do I do next? That's where we start, right? So all you people out there listening to this right now, you probably need to go opt in, and we'll help you figure it out. All right. So what's your lead magnet right now? Do you have a lead magnet right now?
That's where I'm stuck, because we know what our core content is going to be, and we know who we want to get, but what should that free offer be? That's more than like a free membership trial.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's at.
Okay. So I'm looking at your website right now. So I'm just going to start talking, and hopefully good words come out. I'm just going to start speaking. I'm just kind of looking here first. The first thing I would do immediately from a change of mindset issue, get the Google ads off of this website. Okay. Do not use them. Do not use any monetization but the membership. Every space right now that has a Google ad is going to be replaced by joining the Talking Campers community, right? So that way there's no clutter, there's no clarity. When I get here, I I don't want to leave. I want to be here to read the article, go into the opt-in, and join a membership. Anyone that has a membership, unless you've got 1 million views a month, turn the ads off, right? And if you do have 1 million views a month, go negotiate with an actual company in your space to give you commissions and use that as your ad space. That's a better way to make money, okay? So that'll help clear things up, and we won't have to look at all these ads popping up everywhere and everything else. Now, the next thing is the opt-in. I wonder if something like a quiz would be good for this. Like answer these 5 questions to figure out the best camper for you. And it would give them some kind of little result. Because, if that's my question, like, okay, I'm in this, like for me right now, I don't know what we need. I know kind of what I want. Like I want one that's not the biggest, not the school bus size one. Right? You know what I'm saying? Although Jocelyn has a dream one day that we can hire drivers and they just drive us everywhere in our tour bus, and it just says Flip Lifestyle on the back of it. That's long term. That's our vision. That's the retirement plan, right? But like I want one that I can drive it. I want to drive it because I want us to kind of all. I don't want to be in a car pulling the camper. I want to be in the camper, right? And it's like the kids are back there playing. In my black and white mind, it's like, they're back there playing checkers with each other, having fun on the road, playing some solitaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, they're just looking at their Switches and playing online. But like, that's my dream, right? I want to look in the rearview mirror and they're back there playing cards or something. Okay, but like at that point, like I don't know what I need at that point. But maybe there was like a series of questions or prompts, like. If me and you were having coffee, there's 10 questions I ask everybody to figure out what kind of camper they want. And I kind of know that, right? So like maybe that would be a tremendous opt-in. Like, what's the perfect camper for you? Answer in 5 seconds. And then what happens is it ends with like a recommendation that's not exactly like go buy the Chevy or go buy the what's a brand? I don't even know what the brands are. What's a brand of camper?
Forest River.
Yeah. I remember my friend had this thing. It was a Tioga. You ever heard of a Tioga before? It was like the Tioga Winnebago or something, and his grandfather had it, and we used to play basketball around it. Anyway, all right, I'm off on a tangent. Just coming back, reeling back in here, like that. It would show me like a categorical kind of thing. Like you probably need a 40-foot camper. You probably need a 20-foot camper. You need something general, right? But then what that begs the question. Then now you ask the next question that they should be asking themselves and say, hey, You've opted in. So now you've got their opt-in. So let's just put that aside. They opt in to take the quiz, right? The first thing is the first question plus their answer plus their email. And then they go to the next question. So now you've given them an answer and like, oh man, I need a 30-foot camper. Well, now what? Like how many beds, how many rooms, how many whatever. Then you can make a pitch that's like, hey, we have this is a new strategy too. If anybody's listening to this, you're about to get some gold here because me and a friend of mine worked this out the other day. At that point, you instead of a trial or whatever into your community, because they're not ready to be like sucked into the RV world. Because we have some people in the community. There's a couple people you need to meet in the community that do this. Like they RV, and like there's a single lady. She's like in her 50s or 60s. I can't remember exactly what. I'll introduce you to her in the community. And she travels the country with her dog in her RV. And she helps other people of her demographic do that. It's pretty cool. But like you can tell me like, hey, I've got this training here. It's a quick video. It's 15 minutes long, and I'm going to then explain to you what this looks like on the inside, not just the general. You need this kind of camper or whatever, right? So basically, what you're doing there is you're going to try and sell them like a tripwire. Right? Like it's kind of a tripwire, but it's almost like the next step of your membership, right? So maybe you go in and go, hey, this class, these are classed, right? Isn't that how campers are? There's classes of campers like based on length and amenities and stuff like that. Isn't that how they do it? Isn't that how they organize it?
Yeah, they organize it. There's like a couple main types, class A, class B, class C, and then you have like travel trailer, fifth wheel, and a pop-up.
Okay, perfect. So basically the quiz has to tell me based on my answers-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like this would actually be a smarter thing to do on that because you could create curiosity. Their answer is always going to give them 2 results. Right? Because it's going to be borderline sometimes, right? And you can set, so then you would say, hey, you need this or this. Like if I say, like one of the questions could be, do you want to drive in the camper or do you want to tow the camper? Well, now you know it's either going to be a pop-up or a fifth wheel or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So your quiz is going to create a little bit of uncertainty that they need to wrestle with to move forward in their journey. Now you say, hey, you know, it's the same. They're all these answers, no matter what they end up with, are going to lead to this tripwire. It's going to be the same tripwire for everybody. Hey, look, you know, you got your answer. It looks like you're going to need this or this. We have a video that goes into detail explaining every one of these campers. Like we're going to go through Class A, Class B, Class C, fifth wheel, pop up. And like basically you do a little training that's basically all of the campers, all of the thing, all of the ones. You don't have to go to YouTube and search up every class. You don't have to get random videos. I'm going to teach you're going to become an expert in all of these different classes right now. So we're still at the category level. This is great, right? And then what you say is, hey, we've got this video. We put a lot of work into this. Like, put some work into this one. I usually tell people to go talking head, but I think this one you're going to need to get on a lot, and you're going to or get at a campground or get some friends and really be like, this is this, you know. And each one of them is like 2 to 3 minutes, so it's like a 30-minute video. But I would be like, go through it, walk through it, put a little work into this thing because it's going to be good forever. They're not going to change, right? And then what you do is you say, hey, this is $9. It's a $9 course, little tripwire. Right? Because if you find someone serious enough to buy this video, you have probably found someone who's going down the rabbit hole. They're done. Like if I'm willing to spend money on learning about something, I'm only one step away from being a part of the tribe, a part of the cult. You know what I mean? So like that way, now you've got an opt-in that's totally general. Anyone that comes to your site can do this. It's you can run an ad to it. Learn the perfect camper for you and your family. Right? It's a picture of you all sitting around a campfire with the camper in the background, right? Learn the perfect camper for your family. Not all campers are made the same. Not all families are made the same. Your needs are different than everyone else's, right? Like this is your copy. This is your language. It's but it's a good general opt-in. Anyone can take it, right? But then I don't think you go straight to the membership because that's too much commitment for people. I think you need the tripwire. You need no matter what I told you needed, here's a video to explain why you need it. So you told them the what. Here's what camper you need. But now here's why you need it. I'm going to sell you why to need it. Because you're going to be sitting there going, oh, man, that's cool. What is that? I don't know what that is. But then you teach them right there. Now you've got them in a nice little path where they're going to give you some money. You can put that into more ads. But here's the kicker. You could do an order bump that does let them join the community. Okay. So they're already typing in their credit card to buy this tripwire. Now I do want to caution anyone listening to this. There will be customer service things that are created down the path when you use an order bump, which is a checkbox on a thing that says, hey, you're already getting this course. Why not try the Talking Camper community for free for 30 days, right? Doing that with automatic billing, there's going to be people that write you and go, what are you billing me for? I didn't sign up for this. And be like, oh, that's okay. Sorry, you clicked this box. Here's your money back. You just got to be ready to do that. But half of them won't. Half of them will just be like, sweet, let's keep going. Okay. So now, instead of just an opt-in, we've created a nice path to identify, to help people become a part of your tribe in the quiz, to literally go down the rabbit hole and commit money to the process. Okay. And we've got a nice little order bump there for that free trial to start kind of maybe getting people into the community, giving you a play. And how you sell that is this. Hey, you're going to watch this video. You have some text there that says, you're going to watch this video and you're going to learn all about the campers. But if you'd like to talk to an expert about which camper's right for you, or if you have any follow-up questions, we do a weekly member call, right? And I'm actually recommending weekly member calls for people launching a membership now, and then scaling the member calls back later until you get that first crew in. You can kind of drop down to 2, and then you can kind of change it up a little bit later. But like that way, people are coming in, they're talking to you, they're staying in the community. They're coming in, they're talking to you, they're staying in the community. It's an hour of your life a week to be able to serve these people that come in, right? But it builds the membership that way. So I think that might be a perfect thing for you guys, is a nice quiz into a tripwire with an order bump free trial. If you don't feel comfortable there, put the free trial on the thank you page, like pitch it. Actually, like, hey, now you've got the course, like the videos at the top, watch your video and learn about your thing. And 1 minute into the video, sales copy appears below it. Right. And now you can pitch the membership too. So that if that's more comfortable, do it that way. Was that overwhelming? Does that make sense?
No, you made perfect sense. That flows like way better than what I was envisioning. That is seamless. That makes perfect sense.
If I know what camper I've got and then they go buy it, like for example, imagine this too. I hate it when I start talking about funnels because we're going down the rabbit hole. But like, hey, you've picked your camper. The next step is negotiating a good price with the dealer or finding a used one. Now it's a course. That's the next course. That makes sense. Like month 2. Hey, let me show you how to go find a great deal for the camper that I helped you pick for free. And I'm in now. Before I know it, I'm going to be roasting marshmallows.
Yeah, and that's actually my husband. When we were like listing out like everything that we wanted to help people with, he was like very, very like, we will help people get the best deal on their campers. And then it's going to be, we will help people make sure that they know what they're getting into. Because when you buy your camper, they do this whole like walkthrough with you. And usually they go way too fast and you don't have enough time to ask the right questions. And that's one of the things that we messed up on. So we're like, never again will we let somebody else experience that. So
that could be another lead magnet. That would actually be a good one because like here's what you're going to find. Like we know the process from start to finish as the expert in our field, right? When you build a membership, here's the problem. You're not going to catch everybody right at the perfect beginning of that journey. So some people already know the camper they're going in for, right? And they're going to the lot Saturday, but they're still like, well, what should I ask the dealer? Well, that would be a great one-page PDF, another opt-in to catch someone who's a little farther down the chain, right? They've made the decision. They find your website and they're like, man, what questions do I ask the dealer when I'm buying a camper? And you just say, hey, get our free PDF where we give you the top 15 questions you should ask every dealer or used person before you buy a camper, right? And it literally is a script of a conversation to have. Great opt-in. Still get to pitch the next thing. Like, hey, all right, let me show you how to negotiate the deal now, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the same. The questions for information are only to prepare for the negotiation. So you still have a course in the community about that. Hey, you can get access to this course for 30 days for free. Even if you don't stick around, it'll help you save thousands. And if you save somebody $1,000 on their camper, you better believe they're going to stay in your membership because you've already saved them more money than they could ever spend on it in a year, right? So that could be another opt-in that you could do. Like we're working on a new opt-in right now. We've focused a lot on ideas in the first part of the year. The next funnel that we want to create is you're a course creator and you want to switch to the membership model. You're sick of living launch to launch. You've already got a website. You're already making money. Like that's our next lead magnet that we want to create in our lead funnel. So you got to think about those phases. Where will people enter into your business and have lead magnets for all of them? But I think that's your first 2, at least, right there. Okay. Awesome. Now I'm going to say one more thing before we got to kind of steer this in here. All right. But like, see what I did there? I'm steering in the camper. We're bringing it into the spot. Okay. But like what we have to realize too is though, I would highly recommend before you create the leads, even though the website's already open, why don't you guys go ahead and get the core content filmed in the community, unless it's really overwhelming to do that. But maybe you could create the categories, create one course per category. Maybe it's an overview of everything that will be created and like have the membership ready to buy, like have it ready to go because you're going to start getting traffic. You know what you're doing with SEO. You're going to run some ads and it would be terrible if they got there and were like, man, I'd love to give these people money, but I can't. Right. So probably take a week or 2. Let's get some core content in there. Let's get a little Facebook group going for the members. And now we're ready to take and get an order form and a sales page. Now we create the opt-ins so that we've got somewhere to lead them to immediately. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, do you have any follow-up questions? Anything else? Is everything pretty straightforward?
No, actually I have, that's pretty clear. No,
That's the best kind of call. Hey, listen, if you're getting off a coaching call and they're like, yeah, I'm good. Let's go. I'm ready to get to work. Then we rock.
Yeah, I'm going to probably get off of this call and then immediately start like outlining all the things and put like, timelines.
Action in play. I'd say a few people will be. This was pretty. This was a pretty tactical episode of the Flipped Lifestyle podcast. So I think there's a few people pulling over on the side of the road right now with a notepad, trying to get their plan ready for it today. So, well, listen, I cannot. I've got your website open. I know what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to be poking around in here and reading some of your blog posts. I'm gonna tell Jocelyn, I'll say, man, I did a podcast today and I was trying to talk somebody into a sales funnel, how to do a sales funnel, and they talked me into buying a camper. So let's start shopping, baby. Let's look at this and see what we can do. So listen, thank you so much for coming on the show today, Chrissie. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I know that's an amazing, powerful story. And I really think that this business is not just going to help people buy campers, but it's really going to change some lives and create a lot of memories. And that is an awesome, awesome mission to be a part of. And I'm glad that you shared some of that with us today.
Absolutely. I'm really, I think everything comes back to story, right? Everything is conveyed story. And I think when you have a story like that you can connect to, and you know that other people will probably connect to, it just makes that I feel like the drive is stronger when you're emotionally connected.
I can feel the passion. This is not a hobby. This is not a thing you like. This is the thing that's happening. And I can't wait to watch it happen. All right, guys, that wraps up my interview with Chrissie Riese. What an amazing conversation about family and making memories, and what an incredible story. I mean, that story that Chrissie is going to take out to the world is going to impact a lot of lives. We talk all the time on the Flipped Lifestyle podcast about casting your stone out upon the waters, making that ripple, and going out and reaching out and impacting other people around the world. And that is the true power of a membership site, of the membership model as an online business. Not only can it help you make money online, not only can it replace your income and help you quit your job, not only can it change your family's future, but it is the best vehicle we have found to actually impact the world and help others. We would love to help you take your idea. We would love to help you tell your story online. All you have to do to start a 30-day free trial inside of the Flip Your Life community is to go to flippedlifestyle.com/free. That's FLIPPED lifestyle.com/free. And you can start a 30-day trial in the Flip Your Life community today. You can get access to all of our courses. You can go in and you can find your idea. You can learn how to create your product. You can learn how to market it and get it in front of the right people. All of those courses will be available to you for free for the next 30 days when you sign up. But you'll also get the Flip Your Life community where you can hang out with me, you can hang out with Chrissie, you can hang out with Jocelyn inside of our amazing Flip Your Life community forums. And we do member calls live every month where you can come and you can ask us questions just like Chrissie did today on the show. That's flippedlifestyle.com/free to start your 30-day free trial today. All right, guys, we are about out of time, but before we go, we like to end every Flip Lifestyle podcast with a verse from the Bible. Jocelyn and I get a lot of our inspiration and motivation in our business, in our life, in our marriage, in our parenting from the Bible, and I've got a good one for you today. This is one of my favorite verses from the Bible, and I've shared this one many times before here on the podcast, but this one really, really, really resonates with me, and I think it's going to really resonate with the story that Chrissie told today. Today's Bible verse comes from Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22, and it says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." And that's really what we're trying to do here, guys. We're trying to leave an inheritance to our children's children, but not just build a big business, not just build a big business full of money and all those things. No, we're trying to build an inheritance of memories, an inheritance where our kids can remember these awesome times like going camping and being at home with us and spending more time with us. That's the real inheritance we want to leave our kids. That's really what the Flip Lifestyle is all about, is to create that freedom, to create that time that we can give to our children, and we can create that amazing inheritance where they will remember us long after we're gone, and they will pass that on to their kids. So just like Chrissie's father passed it into her, and she's passing it on to her kids, and now she's teaching other people, we want you to really go out and leave that inheritance in your business as well. All right, guys, that is all the time we have for this episode of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, get out there. It don't happen unless you take action. So take action and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
I actually worked on your ads for like the Power Up Podcasting launch, and that's how I found you. I was like, who is this guy? I like his accent. He sounds like home. Why have I not heard them before?
He sounds like home. I'm going to get a shirt. I sound like home. That's
Yeah.
amazing. One more thing before we go. Thank you so much for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. If you love the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, if we bring a little joy and a little happiness and we bring some knowledge into your life every single week, could you do us a favor? Go to Apple Podcast and hit subscribe. Download a few of the podcast episodes onto your phone. Apple's algorithm loves seeing downloads and it loves seeing those subscribes. And please leave us an honest review over on Apple Podcast. That'll help us grow the show, expand the mission, and reach more people so that we can help them change their family's future as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.